Hello, my name is Jenny. I am a student majoring in English literature. Today, I am excited to share my experiences of studying and living in Canada. This is not only a journey of personal growth, but also an exploration for every language learner. My story is filled with challenges, laughter, and emotions. If you also want to improve your English, perhaps my experiences will provide you with some inspiration and motivation. Let's dive into my story and start this journey of language learning together. On a sunny summer day, I eagerly embarked on my journey to Singapore. At the Singapore airport, I experienced an embarrassing moment. I walked into a fast food restaurant called Church's Chicken to get something to eat. Due to my poor English skills, I could only rely on gestures and simple words to express my needs. I pointed to the food on the counter, repeating, "I want this. I want that." When I was about to pay with my card, the cashier asked me, "Debit or credit?" I was instantly confused, because I didn't understand what he was saying. I felt lost and helpless, not knowing what to do. Fortunately, the tour guide appeared just in time and helped me with the payment in fluent English. This embarrassing experience at the Singapore airport made me realize the importance of mastering English. From then on, I resolved to spend at least 30 minutes every day practicing English to avoid similar situations in the future. After 6 months, my English had improved significantly, and I was eager to learn more. I applied to the University of British Columbia (UBC) in Canada online and decided to study there. When I arrived at the school with my acceptance letter in hand, I realized it was the beginning of a new chapter in my life. On the first day of school, I met my ESL teacher. She was young, beautiful, and very friendly and humble. Her enthusiasm and encouragement made me feel warm and welcomed. Her ESL class was always filled with laughter and joy. Her gentle and engaging voice captivated us every time she told an interesting story or posed a thought-provoking question. The classroom walls were adorned with various English idioms and phrases, and colorful sticky notes recorded each of our learning goals and progress. She posed a crucial question: how can we quickly master English thinking? She introduced an effective teaching method to help us develop the ability to think in English without translation. She explained that one major challenge in learning English is our tendency to translate in our heads. We translate what we hear from English to our native language and then translate our thoughts back into English. This is not only exhausting, but also makes our responses slow, making the conversation feel tedious for the other person. She said. She suggested we spend 10 minutes each day describing everything we see in English to train our English thinking ability. I applied this method to my daily life, describing everything from household furniture to street signs in English. For example, when I saw a desk lamp, a cabinet, a street, or a shopping mall, I would quickly say their English words in my mind. Desk lamp, street, shopping mall, sofa. This method was very effective for me. However, the process of learning a language is not always smooth. Sometimes, I found my memory of certain words not deep enough. Whenever this happened, I would consult a dictionary. I used an all-English dictionary, a learner's dictionary, to look up new vocabulary, learning their spelling and pronunciation. The next day, I would try to recall these words again until I could say them quickly and accurately. This method was very effective. And every time I found myself in a new environment, I would use this approach to train my English thinking. Under the guidance of my teacher, I started practicing short sentences to improve my English skills. I began describing my daily life in English. Initially, I used simple sentences, for example, I am thirsty or I am hungry or I am in love. As my English improved, I could say longer and more complex sentences. For example, my friend is very beautiful or today's weather is great. The teacher emphasized that at this stage, the most important thing was to accumulate adjective vocabulary. If I didn't know how to express certain adjectives, for example, this rain is so, I would consult the dictionary. This method helped me quickly memorize many sentences and words. The next day, I would observe the same things and try to come up with new adjectives, such as this rain is so delicate or this is wonderful. I kept practicing until I felt comfortable, then moved on to the next stage. I began talking to myself in English. I stood in front of the mirror, took a deep breath, and started conversing with myself in English. Hey, how was your day? I softly asked. It was quite productive. I finished my assignment and had a great conversation with my professor. I replied to myself. Although this self-conversation was initially a bit embarrassing, I knew it was a crucial step in improving my English skills. Many people believe that only living abroad can provide an English environment. But this is not true. Even immigrants who have lived abroad for years might not speak a word of English. Creating an English environment for oneself is a great way to practice. At this stage, you don't need to speak out loud. The main goal is to train your English thinking ability. For example, you can practice simple dialogues. What are you up to now? Just relaxing at home. How about you? I am about to start cooking dinner. What are you making? I am thinking of making pasta. Do you like pasta? I love pasta. It's one of my favorite dishes. Great! Maybe we can have dinner together sometime. I'd like that. Let's plan for it soon. The teacher emphasized that learning English should not just be about rote memorization. It should be about mastering the language through extensive practice. This method was very effective for me. I preferred learning through practical use rather than relying solely on textbooks. Language is a tool for communication, and we need to use it to express our thoughts and emotions. The teacher also informed us that reading is the best way to learn new words. Choosing interesting books or articles to read and looking up unfamiliar words in the dictionary helps us understand the content and increase our vocabulary. Reading also helps us learn how to connect words correctly in sentences, which is an extremely effective way of learning. Moreover, I turned everyday items into English versions, such as my phone, computer, and TV, setting their language to English. This forced me to read instructions in English, creating a good English environment. Every night, I would review the day's activities in English. When I could use simple English sentences to describe my surroundings, I tried to review the day's experiences entirely in English before bed. This method not only trained my English thinking ability, but also my summarization skills. For example, today was a busy day. I went to the market with my family. We bought a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. After that, had a picnic in the park. It was very sunny, so we enjoyed the warm weather. But walking around made me tired, so I took a nap when we got home. It felt really good to rest. If I couldn't think of any words at first, it was okay to keep it short. After all, starting is always the hardest part, and it's impossible to achieve perfection immediately. However, with practice, I gradually began to summarize more details. The more detailed, the better. Remember to add conjunctions like but, and, so, to make sentences longer. For example, today is Canada Day, and it's also a long weekend. I went to downtown to watch the Canada Day celebrations and the parade. But there were a lot of people, so it was very crowded. These are the brilliant methods the teacher taught us to train our English thinking. Through the practice of these methods, my English ability improved significantly. In addition, I actively utilized various multimedia resources to assist my learning. Besides daily practice, I improved my listening and speaking skills by watching English videos on YouTube. Learning English through YouTube is a very effective and enjoyable method. This approach not only enriched my learning resources, but also immersed me in an authentic language environment. For example, Rachel's English. This channel focuses on English pronunciation, especially American English pronunciation. By mimicking the pronunciation and intonation in the videos, I practiced my speaking skills, getting closer to native-like pronunciation. Learn English with TV series. This channel teaches English through popular TV series and movie clips. You can learn authentic English expressions and cultural background while having fun. For example, by imitating movie dialogues, I learned the phrase, "Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." This is Forrest Gump's philosophy in the movie Forrest Gump, where his mother tells him that life is unpredictable and full of surprises, encouraging him to face all challenges and opportunities bravely. Linguists point out that learning a language through watching films is an effective immersive learning method. It not only improves language skills, but also deepens the understanding of the culture behind the language. My experience confirms this. My English listening and speaking skills improved significantly through this approach. My teacher encourages us to discuss various topics in class, such as Canadian culture and suitable jobs for students. This has been very helpful for me as I am looking for a part-time job opportunity. My classmates suggested I look for jobs at the Career Center, which has many positions prepared for students. I found out that even though I didn't have relevant work experience, my English level was enough to qualify for a job as a waiter. This not only allows me to practice English, but also gain valuable work experience. I found a job as a waiter at Tim Hortons Cafe. Every day after school, I go to work at Tim Hortons, where the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and donuts fills the air. I wear the iconic red apron, busily moving among customers, taking orders, and recommending products in English. Whenever I successfully communicate with customers and see their satisfied smiles, I feel a sense of accomplishment and belonging. Here, I not only improved my English skills, but also made friends from all over the world, and experienced the blending of diverse cultures. After years of effort and perseverance, I finally stood on the stage of the graduation ceremony. When I first arrived in Canada, I knew nothing about English. Faced with an unfamiliar environment, language, and culture, I felt lost and helpless. However, I didn't give up. In the process, I not only became fluent in English, but also deeply fell in love with English literature. I immersed myself in the world of Shakespeare's plays and Jane Austen's novels. These classic works not only enriched my spiritual world, but also stimulated heated debates with my classmates during class discussions. My efforts and enthusiasm were recognized and encouraged by my teachers, which made me more confident that no matter the starting point, anyone can overcome obstacles and achieve self-transcendence through relentless effort. Today, I graduated with excellent grades and became a professional English literature student. I know that this is not only my personal achievement, but also the best reward for all those who supported me. Standing on the stage, I felt extremely proud and grateful. And I am full of expectations for the future. I know that this is just a new starting point in my life journey. I will continue to pursue higher academic achievements, hoping to one day become an outstanding English literature professor, passing on knowledge and passion to more students. To achieve this dream, I have already started taking action. Now, I have opened this YouTube channel English in Stories to improve people's listening and speaking skills through English stories and help more people learn English. On this channel, we use engaging stories to immerse you in the world of English, including learn English from scratch, from beginner to advanced levels, life stories, learning practical English through stories, listening and speaking, effectively improving your listening and speaking skills, practical vocabulary, mastering essential everyday English words. Let's learn through stories together, making English a bridge to connect the world and open the door to a broader world. Shakespeare once said, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. Let's grow and progress together on this stage through English and stories."